Hello everyone, and I would like to show you one more notable chess game. In this chess game we have Vugar Gashimov, and his opponent was Alexander Grischuk, one of the strongest chess grandmasters at the time, even today. Unfortunately, Gashimov has passed away at a very young age, and this is also one of his notable chess games. So let's see what happened in this chess game. Gashimov starts the game with e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, and bishop to b5, the Spanish game. And we have a Steinitz defense after d6, castling, pinning the knight, asking a question, and Alexander Grischuk was extremely aggressive, so he's sacrificing the bishop for opening the h-file. And actually in this position, Gashimov pushed the pawn. So after pushing the pawn and basically sending the bishop back, simply knight takes on d4, and it looks like white has to be careful. So after capturing the bishop, knight takes on b3 and then capturing the pawn. And where is the knight going? We have knight to g5, but it looks like this is trapping the knight. Queen to d7, defending the g-pawn. Queen to d3 and rook over, capturing the pawn, pushing the pawn, and this is trapping the knight. Where is the knight going? So after knight to c3, simply capturing, and bishop takes on g5, and white has a very active bishop. Bishop to e7, f4 by Vugar Gashimov. After g takes on f3, en passant, queen takes on f3, and we have knight to f6. Of course, black can't capture the bishop because of getting checkmated, queen to f8, and lights out. There is no defense. So this is why after knight to f6 we have knight to d5, but we can say that white has a very active position. So the material is even, but black haven't castled, and it looks like white is at the driver's seat, and this looks pretty fatal for black. So after knight takes on d5, queen to f7, check. After moving the king, queen takes on g7. So not defending the rook, and black realized that he is in big trouble. So this was not the day for Alexander Grischuk. Actually, he's also a very strong chess player, but this was Gashimov's day. So after queen takes on g7, if defending the rook, then simply capturing the knight, and white is better in this position. So the queen is also defending the bishop. So this position favors for white. White is also a pawn up. So after king to c8, simply capturing the rook, but this was the idea of Alexander Grischuk. He played king to b7, and this is both attacking the rook and also attacking the queen. What now? So Gashimov solves the problem. After queen to h7, we have queen to g4. If capturing the rook, then simply capturing the knight, and white is still better in this position. The bishop is pinned. If capturing the bishop, capturing the queen. If defending, rook up, and you can see that white is much better. So black is in big trouble in this position actually. So after queen to h7, queen to g4, and then e takes on d5. And queen to d4 check, king to h1, and then capturing the bishop. Well, in this position actually, if capturing the rook, simply capturing the bishop, and white is a piece up. So this is why we have queen to d4, king to h1, and things are going upside down for Alexander Grischuk. After bishop takes on g5, simply defending the rook with doubling, and it looks like he is also threatening rook to a7. So if king goes up, queen takes on c7. So we have bishop to e3, but still rook to a7, so there is no option than capturing the rook, because if moving the king, queen takes on c7 is on the cards. So sacrificing the king, queen takes on a7 in order to survive. So after bishop takes on a7, if of course king takes on a7, then queen takes on c7, and that's actually very difficult for black. So bishop takes on a7, and actually this pass pawn is decisive, and white is winning because of this pass pawn, because of this g-pawn. If it was not for this pawn, it would be much more difficult. This endgame would be much more difficult, but g4, rook over, and then pushing the pawn. So the pawn is going all the way. After queen to e4, pushing the pawn is on the cards. After rook to f1, king to h2. Actually, this endgame is extremely instructive. So I have few questions to ask you at the critical moment. So we have rook to f4, blocking and attacking the queen. So in this position, rook to g1 seems like a very natural move because the rook is behind the pawns. Usually the rooks behind the pawns is better, of course. That's a natural move. But after g6, it is black to move. So black has to make a move because if you move the rook to somewhere else, white can push the pawn. So it looks like the rook has to stay on g1. So after bishop to b6, what would you do in this position if you had the white pieces? White has a winning move in this position. Can you see the next move for white? So this is actually a pretty simple question. It should be very easy. Okay, so did you see queen to g2? This is the move. If capturing the queen, good luck stopping the pawn. After king takes rook, how to stop the pawn? So black has to make a move. Let's say this move, and then white is going to push the pawn, and it is actually too late. White is promoting the queen. So okay, so this is why in this position we have rook to f4, not rook to g1. And in this position also white has a very strong move. What would you do if you had the white pieces? Okay, so Gashimov simply captured the rook. Queen takes on f4. So black has the bishop and white has no pieces left. After e takes on f4, well, it looks like the bishop is going to be able to defend. So pushing the pawn, or is there something else? What would you do in this position? The game still haven't ended. You have to find the best move. It's still not all over for black. So white has to be precise in this position. If I give you a few seconds, can you guess the best move, but the absolute best move in this position for white? And let me tell you this, after that move, Alexander Grischuk resigned. He threw in the towel immediately after that move. Okay, so did you see c3 by Vugar Gashimov? And after this move, Alexander Grischuk resigned. Because in this position, black is basically threatening to play bishop to d4 and defending on g7. And after bishop to d4, basically white can resign. Actually, it's all over. But after c3, white is defending on d4. So it is closing the door. So it is just simply shutting the door to black. And black can't protect the pass pawn. So black can try something like bishop to e3 and then pushing the pawn, bishop to c1, g7, but the pawn is very fast. After promoting the queen, let's say bishop takes on c3, queen over, and white is easily winning. Black is in big trouble actually in this position. So threatening to play queen to c6 and then capturing the bishop, and actually this is just game over. White has the queen, black has the bishop. So this was the very beautiful, very instructive chess game by Vugar Gashimov. Did you see some of the key moves, some of the critical moves? Queen takes on f4 is one of them, and then c3. So this was a bone crusher basically. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. So stay safe, take care, and bye bye.